Hello, RAP students. This is Dr. Smith here to talk to you today about fractions. My fifth graders, we're going to go over some practice problems with fractions. I know some people are probably ready to be done with fractions, but make sure that you understand fractions well, especially in word problems, so that when they come up, you can't be tripped up with answers that look kind of like a good answer, but really is just there to trick you, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. If you want to pause the video, go ahead, and then we'll do them together. Now, let's start with number one. After basketball practice, 8 players, I'm going to circle that or underline it, equally shared, I'm going to do equally just to remember, shared 3 large bottles of water. What fraction of a bottle did each player get? So make sure that you understand what they're asking. So now we have to figure out what is the fraction that each player is going to get, okay? Because there's only 3 bottles and there's 8 players. So how are we going to solve that? So we're going to come up with our answer before we even look at all these different answers, okay? So you have 8 players and you only have 3 bottles. So how much of each bottle will each player get? Each player is going to get an 1/8, okay, of a bottle. If each player is only going to get an 1/8 and you have 3 bottles, you can do this with addition if you like. That's the second bottle, and this is the third bottle. Some people may want to use fractions with multiplication, and I'm just not doing that right now because I did not go over that. So I'm going to do it with addition, okay? So if we add up all of these fractions, you want to add the numerators, 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. And then they all have the same denominator, which is great. So we just put our denominator. So we come up with each player getting 3/8 of the water bottles, okay? Now, let's look and see if we have that answer. A is 1/8. We know they're going to get more than 1/8, right? B is 1/3. And that doesn't really make sense because there are 8 players. You can't get 1 out of the 3 bottles because then a lot of people will be without water. And here's our answer, 3/8. Now, if you look at D, they even have 8/3 up there. Just for the person that may be really confused by fractions, this may be confusing to them, but either way, it only has 3 parts. There's 3 bottles of water, but how does that translate to 8 players? It doesn't, so we know it's not that one. And we can cross this one out, and we can cross 1/3 out. Now, one thing that might trip you up is they say what fraction of a bottle each player gets. So you could read it as out of 1 bottle, what fraction of 1 bottle does each player get? But that's not actually what they're asking. They're asking in total, okay? Now, I'm not as excited about how they worded the question, but if in any case you misunderstand something like that, to me that is a little tricky. But your answer is actually 3/8. That's what they want, is the fraction of all the bottles together, all the water together. They want to know what's the fraction that each player would get. So I think that could have been worded better. But if you actually thought that they were asking for each bottle, that one would be correct. So if you had answers and you looked at the answer and it was 3/8, don't feel bad, because based on what you thought they were asking you, you would have answered it correctly. So I'm really concerned that you understand how to use your fractions. Sometimes you just misinterpret a question. So this is why I say You need to make sure you understand what question you're actually answering, okay? Let's go to number 2. Joan went to the bookstore. At this bookstore, 3/4 of the books are fiction. Of the fiction books, 1/3 are mystery books. What fraction of the books at the bookstore are mystery fiction books? So we have to make sure we understand what they're asking us. They want to know the fraction of the books that are mystery fiction, okay? So in order for us to compare the fiction books and the mystery books within the fiction books, we have to have some way of making them equal. So we're going to get a common denominator for both fractions. And because we have 4 and 3, we're going to use the common denominator of 12. If we do that, we need to know how many books as far as a fraction for fiction there are. And so if we get the factor that goes with 4, it would be 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So we're going to multiply the numerator with 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So our new fraction, that kind of gives us a good starting point to compare both of these equally, is going to be 9/12. So 9 of the 12 books of each books, 12 books, 9 are going to be fiction books. So 1/3 of those fiction books are going to be mystery books. So all I'm going to do is take this top number here, the numerator, and I'm going to divide it by 3. And our answer will be 3. So what it's saying is out of every 9 books, out of the 9 books, that 3 are going to be mystery books. So for every 9 books, 3 are going to be mystery books, okay? So if we know that 3 are going to be mystery books, that means 3/12 of the books are going to be mystery books. So if we go to our answers, we notice that there are no answers that have 12 as the denominator. So they're going to want us to simplify the fraction, okay? So if we simplify this fraction, I hope this isn't getting too confusing for you all. I'm going to use a different color just so we'll be able to see what's going on here, getting everybody confused. So I'm going to come on over here, and so we're going to take 3/12 and we're going to simplify. 3 goes into 12 4 times, so we're going to make that a 4, and 3 goes into 3 1 time. So we've simplified here. Let's hope that our answer is over here, okay? And 1/4 is over here. The other answers are 1/3, 4/7, and 4/5. I would go ahead and mark these two off definitely, because 7 and 5 don't play any part in the factors for 12. And we're going to go with our answer just because we've done all of the work and we'll be satisfied, okay? So I hope that you came up with this answer, even if it took you a little bit. These are the kind of questions that you need to practice because they'll try to get you on these, okay? So if this gave you some problems, definitely talk to your teacher or your rap family or both, and see if you can get some more practice problems, okay? Now, let's move on to the next one. A school painted half of a wall in its gym with 3 colors. So we're going to do half with 3 colors. Each color takes up the same amount of space on the wall. So that means they're going to be equal. What fraction of the wall does each color occupy? So we have to figure out what fraction each of these colors occupy. So it's only half of the wall. So I picture in my mind a wall, and there's only one half that has the colors. And some people may not want to draw, but I see this in my head usually. It's good to be able to picture this. So we know that the colors are here. All right? Now, how are we going to come up with a fraction for that? For each. Okay? That's the thing that we have to do. So we know that already there's only half of the wall that's going to have colors. Okay? So what I would do is just based off of knowing this, I would say that I pretty much have to divide 1/2 into 3, okay? Now, so half the wall has 3 colors. If we just fill in the other side the same way, we can just count the parts and come up with color. This could be color 1, color 2, and this can be color 3. So color 1, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, would have 1 part for its color. You could do that problem that simply, okay? So let's see if that answer is even on the board here. A is 2/5, B is 1/3, C is 1/5, and D is 1/6. Our answer is there, and we're just solving for each color. So doesn't matter which color you choose, out of the 6 parts, only 1 part is going to be a specific color, okay? So we're going to go with 1/6 here, and that's going to be our answer. All right, so let's go on to next problems. You can pause your screen if you would like to do this without me first, and then we'll do it together. Number 4, Tracy ran a total of 5 3/4 miles on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to get that. This is Saturday and Sunday. She ran 1 5/8 on Saturday. How many miles did Tracy run on Sunday? So do you understand what they're asking? So they're wanting to know the number of miles that Tracy ran on Sunday. We already have how many was done in total on Saturday and Sunday. So now what we need to do is just take the total and subtract what was ran on Saturday. And once we do that, then we'll know how many miles she ran on Sunday. So let's get started. We're going to have to compare the fractions, so we're going to need common denominators. So it's 5 3/4 and 1 5/8. So we're going to subtract the 1 5/8 because that's what she ran on Saturday. This is Saturday. And this is the total. So if we get common denominators, you can see that we can use 8 because 4 times 2 is 8. So we're going to use 8. So we'll keep this fraction the same. And we have to change this fraction. We'll put the whole number there. So 4 goes into 8 2 times. So we're going to times 3 by 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Now, let's subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. And they have the same denominator, so we bring it down. And 5 minus 1 is 4. That's how many miles are left over. And that'll be what was run on Sunday. Let's go and see if our answer is over here. 8. 3/4 is not our answer. But B, 4 1/8 is. And then we got 4 1/4 and 4 1/2. But this is going to be our answer because we had to get our common denominator. So we'll go with this one, okay? That wasn't too bad. As long as you understand what they're asking you and how you have to get the answer. So let's go to number 5. If you want to pause the screen, go ahead and do it yourself. Let's read together. Trish bought a carton of orange juice. She drank 1/3 of the carton on Monday and 5/12 of the carton on Tuesday. What fraction of the carton did she drink? Okay, so we know that the full carton has 12 over 12 as the fraction for the whole. But now what we have to do is find common denominators for both those answers, for both the amounts that she drank. For Monday, you have 1/3. And for Tuesday, you have 5/12 for Tuesday. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a common denominator so that we can compare them. And then whatever we come up with, we're going to take it from 12 over 12 from the whole. So let's go. We're going to use 12 as the common denominator just because 4 times 3 is actually 12, so that'll work. Tuesday's number will stay the same, but 12, the factors are 3 times 4, so we're going to do 1 times 4 to come up with our numerator for the top number, which is going to be 4. So now we know that on Monday she drank 4/12, and on Tuesday she drank 5/12. So the question we're answering is, what is the fraction that she drank altogether? So if we add these two together, 4 plus 5 is 9. And our numerator is the same, so we just bring it down. Now, let's go to our answers. If you notice, none of them have a denominator of 12. So that means they want us to simplify this fraction. So let's go ahead and do that. So the common factor is going to be for both 9 and 12. We have 3 times 3 and 9 times 1 up top, and then we have 12 times 1, 3 times 4, and 2 times 6, if you can see that. And we notice that 3 is a common factor. So we're going to use 3 to divide each number by. So 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3. And 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. So that tells us that she drank 3/4 of her carton of orange juice. So let's see if the answer's up here. We got 1/2, 2/3, There's our answer, 3/4, and there's 5/6. So we're going to go with our answer of 3/4, okay? So I hope that you were able to answer these with no problem. I hope you tried it by yourself before we did it together, just to see if you understood how you needed to solve the problem first, and then how to come up with the common denominators and how to simplify, okay? So if you had any difficulty with these, that means you need to practice your fractions a bit more, not just by themselves, because you may be able to do the simplifying and the changing of the common denominator. It may be that you need to understand what steps you need to take to solve the problem. So you need to work on your word problems, okay? If that's the case, you have your rap family here, and you have your teachers at school that you can talk to so that you can get what you need in order to do an even better job. So all I have to say is continue to use your strategies and practice, practice, practice. And like I always say, it's important to exercise your mind as well as your body. And I'll see you soon.